Senate Republicans say they now have the votes they need to revamp the tax code. Our Washington, D.C. Bureau reporter Samantha-Jo is following the latest action. Samantha-Jo, what's the latest?
Well, hey, Lewis, the Senate is on the verge of passing their sweeping tax overhaul plan. You know, they now say that several holdouts now have their support. They are throwing their support behind that proposal. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell now says he has the 50 votes that he needs to get this measure over the finish line. But, you know, that had to come with some changes. Now, Republican leaders said that they agreed to a host of changes that would allow taxpayers to deduct up to $10,000 in state and local property taxes, a change that had been pushed by Senator Susan Collins of Maine. Now, lawmakers are also planning to sweeten the tax break for companies organized as pass-through entities, a provision needed to win the support of Senators Ron Johnson of Wisconsin and Steve Daines of Montana. And in a bid to get Senator Jeff Flake of Arizona on board, leaders agreed to work on providing protections for the beneficiaries of an Obama-era effort that protects young undocumented immigrants from deportation, also known as DACA. Now, lawmakers are considering some other changes, reinstating a modified version of the alternative minimum tax on individuals and corporations. These changes, though, did not appear to appease Senator Bob Corker of Tennessee, whose concerns over the bill's effect on the federal budget deficit created some last-minute complications for Republican leaders on Thursday. Now, Senator Corker has said he will vote no, and so far he is the only Republican who has come out against that measure. Now, one other fight we are seeing play out right now, we don't know exactly where it's going to land, is an effort among some Republicans like Marco Rubio of Florida and Mike Lee of Utah to improve the child refundable tax credit. Now, right now, the tax bill would reduce the corporate tax rate from 35% to 20%. They want to bump that up to 22% because it would give them more revenue to play with to make the child tax credit refundable for more taxpayers. Now, that's an idea that is not going over well with some Republicans. Now, keep in mind, no Senate Democrats will be voting on this measure. Now, take a listen to what Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had to say on the floor of the Senate on Friday.
Democrats remain united against any middle-class tax increase, and we will fight to reverse that. The stakes are too high. Our economy is already stacked against working men and women.
Now, I asked North Carolina Republican Tom Tillis what the implications would be of passing this bill without any support from Democrats. Now, take a listen to what he had to say about that.
Well, the reason we're not working with our colleagues on the other side of the aisle is they don't want to work with us. But we owe it to the American people to provide them with tax relief. We owe it to working families to give them more money to spend on paying their bills and putting their kids through school. And we've just got to take this step. I would love for this to be a bipartisan outcome, but seldom will you see a lot of people on both sides of the aisle come together on something that's really meaningful.
Now Kevin McCarthy, the House Majority Leader, who sets the schedule. He asked lawmakers on Thursday to come back to Washington on Monday. Now, originally they were not scheduled to be back in session, but that is a sign that the Senate is moving forward with this measure, and they are expecting on a motion to conference this out. So that is the latest going on here. Sending it back to you, Lewis.
Okay, thanks, Samantha-Jo.